second. I'll tell you when we live. We live. God.
It's live.
We live. We ain't echoing no more. I'm probably let me turn down my little echo button over. So we're gonna try to fix this, I think. I don't know how, but so you sound a lot better.
I crawled out of the bucket.
What is you?
It took me a while.
What is you? What is you? You's a 12 piece or 25 piece?
24.
Uh-oh. We gotta watch her.
Spicy.
Spicy. I know. Quite spicy. All right, well, we wanted to do this real quick because we had some errors.
Errors?
And we had to fix it. We going over the damn Brian Craig video, which we was having so much fun with a little wine. So now I think what we could do is man, that booger showed us saying some shit, don't it? God damn it! What the fuck? Hello?
See.
Okay. So we're back. So I think we got it. I think we might have this figured out. Wow. It only took us forever. So we'll figure out what we're going to do. How are your mic is good?
Yeah, my mic is good. My keyboard sucks.
Your keyboard is like $200.
It's not the keyboard. It's the little USB thing.
Oh, wow. What's it doing?
It disconnects sometimes. I don't know how. It's wired.
It does?
Mm-hmm. But I think it's that little connector that I have the 3 plugged in.
Copy the clipboard. I'm going to put the link in the post or in the. Now, I should be able to put this right and it should go right there.
Yeah, I'll just copy to the clipboard.
Yep. Now that should be on YouTube. Check YouTube and see if that's on there.
Okay.
YouTube. So we're gonna go back over that video because of the echo, and it was shit. But
yeah,
I'm not.
It's on. It's on there.
Okay. So if you want to come into the show while we're doing this, you're more than welcome. If you got something to say, or if you're Brian Craig's mother or something, I don't know. You want to bitch about something? That's fine. That's fine with me. I'm good with that. So we can go and do it and see what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back over that video again. We started to get some viewerships around here.
Some viewerships.
We gotta have some viewerships.
A lot of twitting.
A
lot of twitting.
A lot of twitting. Don't be twitting.
I twit all the time.
So I think, have you looked on the stream and seen if how you know how we're doing?
Let me check it real quick. Let me just mute myself.
All right. Then after you check it, go ahead and damn. It gets mighty quiet around these parts.
Go ahead and what?
What's it look like now? Let's go now. We just gotta go number 1.
Number 1 or number 2?
No, not number 2. Number 1. That'll be the funny part here shortly. Yeah. If some of y'all were here, y'all know why it says sorry, but meh. Holy shit. All right. So we're going to be talking about Brian Craig again. We're going to do the show better this time, I hope. I got controls of it now. Oh. Head itchy.
You okay?
Yeah, so how everything's good on YouTube?
Yes, as far as I know.
Well then, god damn it, we're going to get you one of these. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about right there.
All right now.
Yeah. Let's go. What the shit? It's like a real damn show around here. Let's get it. Here we go. Now this is my buddy. My buddy. We gonna watch his show. So I don't even know how to watch a show when we're doing it like this because I need a full damn screen. I ain't got no full damn screen. There we go. So this is going to be over. We already went over part of this, but we're going to go over it again just because I'm just retarded. But let's look and see what's going on. Because this is Brian Craig. If nobody knows, he's a Trump bootlicker out of Florida. Hey, keep an eye on the chat, and that way, because I've got it on full screen if you can't tell from the video.
Well, don't you need the bigger screen?
No, that's over there. But it should be a good screen for y'all, right? You should be seeing it right now. We're gonna learn some things right now about Mr. Brian Craig. You want to go ahead and get the legal part out? You want to get that part out real quick?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, we ain't gonna start this echoing shit, are we?
No, I just thought I'd do that for fun.
Oh yeah, that's how we lawyers make money right there.
Yeah. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And there you have it, folks.
And if that ain't good enough for you, I'll send my daddy to you. All right. So let's listen to Brian Craig, the liquor. I can't even control his damn shit.
Why?
I don't know. Something's wrong here.
You're driving.
That's right, 7 nights a week. And the Friday.
Oh, he said that's right, 7 nights a week.
Hey guys, good morning, everyone. If you
I hope everybody can hear that.
You subscribe, click that notification bell, and of course, like the video, everyone, if you don't mind. That helps out a lot. We'll be on in just a minute.
It's still echoing.
I gotta move the camera here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How bad?
Do you have two windows open?
No, I shouldn't. Yeah, I do. I have this window open and this window, but I can't control it there. Can I? No.
There we go.
How's that? Is that echoing?
No.
Okay. So we're good there, right?
Here we go.
Here we go. Come on, Brian. Why do you take so damn long, son?
Can't clear his throat.
Yeah. He'll do that when he goes. Damn. Anytime now. Let's go. Shit.
Yes.
No.
Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Steve will be back with us today. He missed yesterday's show because he stayed up to watch the Joe Biden State of the Union the other night, and of course, that put him in a very long, deep sleep. No, I'm kidding. No, but Steve was off yesterday, but he'll be back today, and we've got a lot to talk about. Now, of course, this is the most important Steve Kane Show of the week because this is not just our Friday morning edition of the Steve Kane Show. We're on Monday through Friday and morning drive from 6 until 9 a.m.
Oh, this ain't working.
But we're also on the air 7 nights a week, midnight until 6 a.m.
I'm not stopping.
7 nights a week. And the Friday show is the most important show because this is not just our live morning drive edition of the program. It's our overnight rebroadcast for the entire weekend. And
Wow.
just on our radio stations, 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM, AM 1470, I'm not including my YouTube video. I'm not including iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, SteveKaneShow.com, our radio station app, and all the other places that carry the program with and without our permission
My
and knowledge.
podcast gets more
Because some people do.
downloads.
And you shouldn't be doing that, but they, the hot show, I understand. But
Hot
just on
show.
our radio stations, the Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show airs a total of 35 times before we return live to you.
They should have done that
Monday
with,
mornings
people
at
in the
6
damn prison cells. Make them listen to him.
So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best, and there's a lot going on here. The Democrats' narrative was completely derailed in the last 24 hours since I last left you. Well, not quite 24 hours. I guess I left you 21 hours ago, right, at 9 a.m. But since we signed off the radio yesterday, the entire Democrat narrative, that, by the way, was going with the mainstream media after this, I don't know, was this a State of the Union? Has been completely derailed. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. And I'm a little surprised to hear that this.
He says he's going to talk about that in a little bit. Do you understand that at all?
Understand
But-
what? He's going to talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah, about the Democratic narrative is totally just off rails.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Honestly,
I don't understand how he continues to go down that road. I mean, I know we already did a show on it, but I really don't understand how he does that.
how does he think they're off rails?
Well, I don't know. You got to look at it, was Biden's, it wasn't a State of the Union address, right?
Right.
Usually every president does that. Trump did it, 100 days in. It's not officially an invitation where, they offer up full policy and what the plan is for the next year. They don't do that, right? They do that in the State of the Union.
Right.
But, and I'm a conservative, which I've stated before. I was a Republican for majority of my damn life. So to hear him say that the Democrats are off the rails, I don't understand what he means by that. What does he mean by off the rails?
I haven't seen anything that even suggests that.
Well, would that mean that like you'd have Democrats tweeting crazy ass shit like Kofi, or tweeting about
Or
I don't know.
Green.
Yeah,
And what's her
really-
other name?
I don't get it at
Me.
all. At all. I just don't get it. They do this, what do you call it? Gaslighting, right?
Yeah.
And it just continues to go. They just continue to push the issues. But there's not an issue that they're pushing that's worth pushing. Pushing just because MAGA, they say, is racist, which it is. And it's faltered. I mean, I don't even see how you could call it worthwhile anymore. It's not a movement anymore, right?
Well, it's a movement, but
It's one of these movements.
it's an after dinner movement.
Yeah.
It's a right after coffee movement.
Oh shit! I need a cigarette.
I need a MAGA.
I got to. But even to say, like when they say it's MAGA, right? Make America Great Again. I mean, the economy when Trump came in was on a 15-month high, right? Where did you make it great? Where was the greatness? There was more racism, more hatred, more assaults. They want to talk about crime. Look at the crime, how far it went up. The shootings. It's just ridiculous.
People dying from the pandemic.
Oh, please. We're almost at 600,000 in America. That's crazy. That's crazy. And he should be held criminally liable. I don't understand why he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his job is to take care of America, to make us better, to take care, to protect us. And he didn't. His lies and him just continuing to push the narrative that it was the China flu. That's ridiculous. Viruses come out of all countries. I don't care where they're at. They come out of everywhere. Right now, we're running through this whole crime went up. Ham Sauce Jenkins. I remember you.
Oh yeah.
Crime went up in Democrat-ran cities. Do you have any statistics for that? If you have any, come in.
The link's out there.
I'll put it right back out there.
I was reading something scary today about pediatricians.
Hold on. Remember Black Lives Matter riots, looting. There's a difference between rioting, defunding the cops. Ham Sauce, if you have something, come in. If you don't, just keep putting up narratives that don't make no sense. Black Lives Matter, what does it do? When you say riots, how do you protest? Murders are up by white people. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. They are. But I mean, if you don't have something, right, then you just sit there and put it in murder up, right? If you don't have an argument, what do? You just pound the table. If you have an argument, peaceful protest. Not a clue, do you, Ham Sauce? Not a clue. It's sad. And that's exactly what Brian does. That's exactly what Brian does. And when you say looting, you're not talking about looting, right? You're talking about a small set of that group doing what they're doing, right? But you're not talking about the majority of what's there. And don't we see a difference there, Ham Sauce, when it comes to what? The way that the police react to white protesters at our Capitol, or the way that police react to the Black Lives Matter protest? They pull out those damn guns quick there, don't they? But they don't at the Capitol. Just like small amount on January 6th. How many small amount? There was thousands that went in that building. Everyone that passed that line, the barrier line where the gates were set up, broke the law. I don't care if you think they didn't. They did. They broke the law. Police shot a girl at the Capitol. They should have shot her.
She put herself there.
She put herself through the window.
She was breaking the law.
To do. 75 million people didn't vote for Trump there, Ham Sauce. Didn't do it. He didn't get 75 million votes. And when you say police shot a girl, that's an emotional argument there, Saucy. That's emotional, right? It's not a girl. She's a 14-year Air Force vet. I think she had 3 deployments. I mean, that shows you. That shows you. No, it's not just woman. They didn't shoot a girl at the Capitol. They shot literally a coup attempt at the Capitol. That cop, and now that cop has to live with that. He has to live with the lie. Those lies that you and these idiots put out there. Period. Yes, I said protesters are treated different. Protesters are illegal. Real protesters, not people that just want to utilize the time to cause violence and crime and bullshit. I'm not talking about the people like that. What lie? You know what lie? Ham sauce, come on. Come on, ham sauce. You know what lie. You're not, I know you ain't that damn dumb. But you say what lie? You don't think the lie about the election was devastating to this country? That can't be. They couldn't prove none of it, right? Their ham sauce couldn't prove it. But yet you'll be a keyboard warrior. I put the link out there. You and what's your name? CK or whatever it is. I smear 75 million by actions of few. 75 million that would vote for a piece of shit like Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? Like Russian collusion. I can show you Russian collusion. I can show you that there was 10 charges that Trump should have been charged for. Look what's going on now. But you don't get it. It's because you're that part, right? You're ham sauce. You're that part of this Brian Craig and these idiots, these the real child molesters, right? Right there, ham sauce. Huh? You're part of it. Instead of really trying to be a part of this country, you're trying to tear it down. You're not trying to do anything for this country other than piss and moan about how bad your little QAnon retards are. That's all you're trying to do. And it's just the same thing, ham sauce. I put the stream out there, and you continue to sit just like you would if you were in a battle. You'd hide, right? You get in the back. You don't want to get involved with the real shit. You just want to put out little stupid shit. I'm not bitching about anything. Yeah. You and Brian Craig, y'all don't bitch about nothing, do you? Huh? Brian Craig is the weakest individual I've ever seen in my life. This dude's lived off of Steve Kane's name, and Steve Kane used to be a good guy. He used to be a really good guy, and now look at him. Brian Craig's trying to take him down, and Brian Craig doesn't believe in the MAGA. In the MAGA, he doesn't believe in QAnon. He doesn't believe none of that stuff. He just knows that people like you are going to come support him because he says what you want to hear. That's it. And I'm doing shows. How pathetic is that? Well, this is my way of being able to not get hung up on when I call in. Because, see, I don't sit on the outside like some people. I actually get involved. I serve my country. I don't know about you, but I've done the work. I believe in the Constitution. I don't think that you've ever read it. But nobody sees this shit. It doesn't matter. Ham sauce, that's the difference, right? If 1,000 people sees my show and 10 get one bit of information out of it, it's worth it to me. It's worth it. That's the difference. You sit in the background and do nothing. I'd rather do something. You would rather be this keyboard warrior. And me, I'd rather just have a conversation. But you can't even do that, can you? You can't actually have a conversation. See, one thing that's different on this show, I won't cut you off. As long as you don't cuss, as long as you don't put nothing on video that's gonna get kicked off, I won't cut you off. I'll let you speak what your mind is. I'm gonna let you say what you want to say, but there is one thing: you're gonna have to be able to prove what you say. You're gonna have to cite what you say. I don't know if you can do that. You might be able to do it with some of the little far right sites, but let me tell you something. I know how to cite my information. I know how to cite and show what I know. I don't think you do. That's the reason why you're really good at sitting back there. But that's okay. I don't mind at all. There's 232 people watching this right now. This conversation might touch one person. And if that happens, I love it. Like you lying and saying Brian is a stepdad.
How's that lying?
Is Brian black there, ham sauce? He and his wife adopted their daughter, not 22 years ago, they didn't. You better look into it. You can look into it real easy. You might want to look into it. It's not a problem. He might have adopted. She didn't. She didn't have to. But go ahead. Kathy didn't have a baby. Why? Fact. How do you know, Ham? Did you look it up? Can you produce anything off of that? Huh? Can you produce the adoption papers? Huh? Produce them. I'm telling you what fact is. What are you, a family member? I wish you was. Maybe you could tell hang up on everybody, little Brian Craig. That's all he can do. He just hang up. He's so weak it's not even funny.
No, he can go on cruises.
Yeah. 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 I had to do a show on that. Yeah. Brian talks about it all the time. Really. Well, does he not talk about how he's not racist because he has a 22-year-old black daughter? Is that not racist in itself? He talks about the vice president like she's an idiot, like she's just tore up from the floor up, right? But what has Brian ever done? He mentions Mar-a-Lago like he's a member. He's never been there. He's been on the outside. They go let him in. He doesn't have enough viewership yet. They won't actually, and it's just like it's the same thing with him doing the whole what do you call it? The number 3. He's number 3 on the conservative talk shows. He's a talk show host. He stirs it up. That's not what talk show hosts do there, ham sauce. That's not what they do. He doesn't stir shit up. He's bona fide one side, and he doesn't even believe what comes out of his mouth. He was a crazy Democrat for the longest time. Right? But now what's going on? He was on C-SPAN. Yeah. You called that an interview? That was ridiculous. That was a shame. I couldn't believe even C-SPAN took it off. I mean, that's how bad it was. No, look, ham sauce. I'm a Republican now by heart, right? I'm a conservative. I believe that we all have our responsibilities. I believe that we should take care of ourselves. I believe that we have the right to have guns. I got them. Lots of them. I carry. My wife carries. I believe all the things that conservatives believe. There's some things that I disagree with, right? But the Republican Party is not the conservative party anymore. The Republican Party right now, is the QAnon party. It's the party of lies. And the only thing that they're telling you and everybody else is bullshit lies to take your mind off of the money that they're taking and putting in their pocket. QAnon is so small. It's so small it almost got Donald Trump elected again. That's how small it is. Donald Trump is not only the worst candidate for Republicans, he's the worst candidate in history. He holds no moral values whatsoever. None. He has 3 wives, right? If you can agree that his moral standard is that low, what makes you think that he's a good American? He's not. Trump grew Republican Party? No, he didn't. He's killed it. He's literally killed it. I live in one of the most Republican states, and I promise you, I'm pretty big in my damn area. And the Republicans that I know, they can't stand him no more. In fact, they can't stand Ted Cruz anymore. They can't stand half of the Republicans anymore. So no, he didn't. You would think, oh, well, because he came out and got those damn votes. No. Right now, he's controlling. He thinks that he's controlling the Republican Party. And it's only because they're allowing it to happen. How do I explain 10 to 15 million more votes from 16 to 20? What, from him or in the election? More Latinos. Do you have numbers on that? Because I think that he only gained about 1%. And I think that was in Arizona. And now when we say Latinos, we also have to add Republicans' votes went down. You do realize that, right? Republicans went down. He actually gained a little bit in independents, but that was because of the QAnon, right? Do you have any numbers on the blacks that voted for him? I mean, these are real. We have to have numbers. We just can't say, well, Republicans voted. Well, Democrats turned out unreal. More votes. He lost by the largest margin in 2 elections. 2. He lost to Hillary, which, how do you lose to that? He lost to Biden. Biden got what, 82.4 million votes? That's crazy. And Ham, do you believe that Trump actually did what he could for this country with COVID? The party didn't grow. How do you think the party grew? How do you think the party grew? He tried. Do you think that he worked hard? Do you think that he really showed up? Or did Pink show up? Who showed up? Biden or Pink's worked. Pink's worked his ass off. And look what's happened to Pink's now, right? He's done in the Republican Party. Vaccine in record time. Can you show me a record time? You can't. They don't do records for that. Don't you understand that that's another one of the that's a tagline. That's all it is. It's a tagline. Record time. Everything that comes out of his mouth is record time. What do you think about him ripping off his own supporters? What do you think about that? Does that bother you? A man lost his house because he gave $500 to him and they took out $1,500 the next month out of his account, and then another 1,500. And let me tell you this: you really need to look at this, Hamsos. This is really, really important. No, people gave willingly. No, they did not give willingly, right? They did not. He had to give back $100 million. How do you think how do you think that? Where the hell does that come from? What do you mean if that happened? Get back in the game, ham sauce. Get back in the real game. I'm not saying you gotta watch CNN. I'm not saying you gotta watch Fox News. But just like the Bible or anything else, you gotta be able to discern information. You gotta be able to figure it out for yourself. And spouting off the shit that they spout off is not being yourself. It's not. Spouting off what they're saying is being a robot. Is being a sheep. That's it. Why do you think that Fox News, other than look, Hannity's, he pretty much is it. I would say that he's kind of out there, but he's really, in my opinion, has lost it. Tucker Carlson, he's lost it. I don't know how you come back from some of the things that they've done. I don't look. The only way that I'll ingest information is I don't watch CNN either. I don't watch Fox. I like to have my information that I can cite it. I can find it, right? If I'm going to go over some information that's going to be a medical issue, right? I want peer reviewed. I want peer reviewed if something comes out about, the COVID. This has been pretty tough because they haven't had to go through the same processes, right? But remember, the companies that we invested in actually didn't come up with the vaccine. Johnson & Johnson did, but it got pulled the first time, then got put back, then got pulled again, then it got put back. But I don't know if you got your vaccine. If you got your vaccine, I got mine. I'm in the top bracket. I've got issues, right? So I was pretty jacked over this. I mean, it's been a year and a half of stress thinking if I was going to make it. I could have caught it and it had been over with. My wife, she, same thing. We was worried. We was scared of shit. I didn't drag race all last year. And that's something. You're young and healthy. Well, I'll tell you what, keep it that way. Don't put these in your mouth. Don't be drinking on them Red Bulls. I'm telling you right now, it's the worst thing on you. You got to, and don't trust anybody. I don't trust nobody. I barely trust my wife. I mean, I might trust my dad, but other than that, I don't trust anybody. I only believe what I can see, not what I hear. I've got to see it and be able to understand everything that I can. And hey, baby, that don't go nothing against you.
Yeah, I know. I'll get you later.
Hey, I question you all the damn time. You know that. That's just who I am. And it should be. You should question. But you shouldn't question to a point to where you're not ingesting the information. It's just when you're questioning just to question it, right? That's what the QAnon thing was about. Their big hook was, well, I'm not saying it's true, but it could be. That's crazy, right? I'm not saying that it could be true, but it could be. I don't know what you do with that. I really don't. I really don't. And here's one thing about Brian, and I want you to think about this. You could go back and look And just go back like on his YouTube channel, like 8 months, 9 months, right? Look at his views before Q really started hitting hard, right? Before the election. Look at his views then. And then look after. Watch his views start to go up and watch his show change. Look how Steve and Brian used to connect. I've watched them for a very long time, right? I mean, a long time. I've said that before. I've spoken with Steve 100 times.
He studies.
Brian hates you. No, right now, Hamsauce, I'm telling you right now, go back and watch some videos and you'll see that he's peddling to Q. Just watch him. Watch how he's doing it. Watch how him and Steve are reacting right now. You seen it the other day when him and Steve got into the little skirmish. You seen him today. How he said that today's show. Oh, Steve didn't come in yesterday. He didn't come in today. Right? He's in a damn coma or whatever. Right? But that's what I'm saying. Just go back and look at how Brian used to be and how Steve used to be, and how it was more policy. It was more on like he didn't call like Marco Little Rubio. He didn't get into the Playgate like they've gotten into it now, right? And some of the things that he's saying now is just downright just despicable. I mean, I don't know. And he's not gaining, right? He's not gaining any true support that's going to help him. If you've watched for about 4 years, then you know what I'm saying, right? You didn't listen to the radio show. You just watched on Periscope. That's an old one there. What was that other one? Yeah, I can't remember what that other one is. There's a different one. But I think if you're going to have a conversation, you've got to have a conversation, right? It just can't be. If I'm talking about Brian, that's fine. I'm talking about Brian. I'm not talking about ham sauce. If I'm talking about ham sauce, me and you, we talked in the comment sections on his channel. I don't know if you've come on. No, you haven't been on my show, but you've been in those comments. And usually, I'm not an ass. You've seen that before. I haven't been an ass with Brian. But when he starts to go down that road, he's going, man, come on. He used to be one of the more conservatives. He used to be one of the more, don't you want to hear about policy? I mean, don't you want to hear, in 2016, when they had the RNC, I was so surprised that there was no agenda that came out of it. I don't know if you remember, but they didn't put out a policy plan, which they do every year, right? The DNC puts out theirs, then the RNC puts out theirs. They'll do another one in 2022, right? And they'll do another one in 2024. And it's just a way for them to be able to, get us moved off so we're not paying attention to what's really going on. Because the government is broken, right? It is broken. And I hate to say it, but damn. I mean, it's 100 days. Boy, he's working through it, ain't he? I mean, I live in a small town, and everybody here, just about everybody, I won't say everybody because I can't prove that, but I know because of what we do, there's more than 80% here that are already had their shots. Yeah, very broken, right? But how do you fix that? Yeah, the border's bad, but it's not. Look, the border's bad at the border, right? The reason why it's bad is because there's no policy that's going to stop that. There's no policy that is going to stop that other than one. And that policy is going to be that you have to check every employee's ID. You have to, right? You had to have a national employee identification. That's what Social Security was supposed to be about, right? That was a way that we could check. But companies that utilize the labor that comes across from the border, those companies aren't punished, right? So if they're not punished, then they'll just continue to do it. I worked for a company 20-something years ago, all right, construction company. I did fire systems, and yeah, I know. Okay, I'm talking to his conversation, but what he said was, corporations aren't going for that. Yes, they're not going for that because it's going to cost their bottom line, right? But that's the people that are paying, right? That's the ones that are paying these elaborate amount of money to the Republicans and to the Democrats. And until we stand up and we get involved in our own local, right, government, and we have the ability to change that, then we can change something. But we're not changing nothing right now. The only thing we're doing, and both sides are doing it right now. And I think that might be one of the reasons why I'm so, I don't know, gung-ho about doing this. Is because we have to at some point come together, right? A coup isn't going to fix this problem. A change of government will, but the only way that you can change this government is to hold it responsible. And the only way you do that is by legislation. That's it. And when we can do that, when we can actually see what's going on, and we can actually make a difference in our local areas, right? And that happens, then it'll change. I'm kind of lucky. I'm older, but I grew up where we didn't lock our doors. My grandmother's door was never shut, right? My grandfather had a garage, and I don't ever remember that door being closed. I love that time. Now, I don't go to the store without a gun. It's getting to a point to where you don't know who to look at or who to talk to. You don't know who's going to freak out, who's a QAnon, who might think they know how the flat earth is. But you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to all of us. It's even crazy to Brian. Do I think that Brian is a bad guy? No. I think that he is selling out. And I think that he's young enough that if he doesn't wake up from it, it's going to really affect the rest of his life. I don't think Brian's a bad guy. I just think, like I said, he's selling out. If he would get back on to what he used to talk about, if he would get back to policy and give the viewers information about what's going on in his radio listen area, not on YouTube. I don't forget YouTube, right? He's on the radio. He's there as a service to give out information that he could make a difference. But the difference that I've seen, and I think you've seen it too, is that he's not trying to do anything other than play gate to what's left over off of the rest of the YouTube channels that have been taken down because of the craziness that went on with the damn election. I don't think anybody can not agree with that. To me, it's just downright crazy. But maybe he might see the video, and I wish he would come on. I do a lot of debate, and I think I told you that before. I debate quite a bit. I debate a lot of religion. I debate a lot of politics. I love debate.
The only thing he doesn't debate is debating.
Yeah, I'll debate that too. No, I actually did do that. I enjoy it. That's what I enjoy to do. I think it's more about the knowledge part of it, right? The ability, like to be a good debater, there's one thing, but to be a honest interlocutor is another. Do you have the ability to get into a debate and be able to accept another premise that you might not accept it before you heard it, right? And then be able to change what you were thinking, to be able to change what you were believing. I think to me, that's the biggest thing that you could do. I think the fact that we have the ability to say, yeah, we make mistakes, but what is the right direction? There's never no really, majority of just about everything in this world nowadays is subjective. We're so selfish, it's not even funny, right? So most of everything that we do, even morals today, are subjective. And I would debate anybody that believes that morals are objective. So that's that's when things are subjective, then we're making up our own determination of what we determine good and bad. If you believe in this country, and what is the country? We'd have to define it, right? I think it's sad that for so long we've defined this country as land. It's not. This country is not just land. This country is a piece of paper. It's our Constitution. That's what gives us the right to own this land. That's what gives me the right to be on this channel. That's what gives Brian Craig the right to say what he's saying and for me to rebut him. I don't know how anybody can ever argue with that point. How do you argue that the United States of America is not land? It's a piece of paper. It's a document that our forefathers put together, and they knew that they couldn't put everything in it. That they knew that things were going to change. I mean, how smart is that? That they knew that we would have to come together. You know, at that time, nobody wanted to be a damn senator or a lawyer or a congressman. They had businesses to run. They had farms to run, right? Nobody wanted to do that. So the people that ran, those were patriots, right? Those were people that were like, yeah, you know, I'm going to step up for my area and do what I can. And the reason why we have the state the way they are is because, I mean, how many times are you going to go to Washington when you got to take, you know, a train or a damn buggy and horse? You know, you only go there. Hey, Jack, it might take you 4 weeks to get to Washington from California on a train. Might. I don't know. Could. Might just be bullshit. I don't know. But would you want it? What do you do? Right? Nowadays, yes, they're career politicians. Career politicians. That's what they are. Mitch McConnell has been in the Senate far too long. Look, when the Democrat nominees came up, I said, "There's no way Biden's winning." I said, he's been too long in this government, right? His time has passed. His run, but it's a different America now. Any chance of term limits? Yes, if you get involved in your area. Yes, there are. Pelosi should be out. Nadler should be out. McConnell should be out. Biden, he's won it 4 years. Let him do what he's going to do. And then, you know, let's see what else is coming. Let's see what else What else? Let's not run the same type of groups that we've been running. Let's actually see what America's about. I think that's important. I think I'd like to see some of the new up and comers out of the Congress and the Senate. I'd like to see, I'd like to see the Republicans put forth some better. I keep, you know, I keep going to that, but it just doesn't look like at this point they're willing to actually fight for this. I mean, look at damn Ted Cruz. I not only voted for him, I voted for him multiple times.
Don't
And
look at him while he's sleeping.
I donated. I donated to him. My dad donated. Yeah, I think if DeSantis gets out of the if he gets out of that COVID mess with CVS and the other company, I think they'll run him. Scott, I don't know. Scott sometimes makes mistakes, kind of like what's the other Bush? Oh shit! You like Cruz over Trump? I'd like to see Kasich maybe. I mean, Kasich's been a great. He's been a great Republican. I'd like to see the Republicans put up, maybe a female. I'd like to see. Yeah, Jeb. Yeah, Jeb. Jeb didn't have the. He didn't have the. I hate to say it this way. And probably a lot of you go laugh, but he doesn't have the audacity that
The
right?
audacity, for real.
Yeah. That's a little funny fun. He didn't have what George had. George was George, right? Yeah, low energy, super low energy. It'd take him 5 minutes to say 5 minutes. Yeah, but as a leader and as a governor, he held a leader, right? Remember how many hurricanes that went through Florida under him, and he killed it out there. And I think sometimes we're looking for somebody that we want to have a beer with for president. I don't want to have a beer with somebody that's in my government. I want to know, what are they going to do for my area? What are they going to do for my schools? What are they going to do for the jobs in my area, for the people that I live around? That's what I want to know. I don't care what damn color suit they wear, as long as it's a suit. I don't. No, I didn't. No, and that's the point. I didn't like Trump from the beginning. But let me tell you why. The reason why I didn't like Trump was because of his moral values. His moral values were so low that I knew, we were going to have issues. I wouldn't say they all talk a good game. I wouldn't say that. I would say close to that they would. I mean, they all want to talk a good game. Rubio talked a good game for a long time until he got caught up. I don't know if you remember the boat incident where his office paid for the $83,000 boat that he loved to go fishing out in. Which, look, everybody's gonna make mistakes. He just made a couple of them when he shouldn't have. But I still wouldn't call him Little Marco. I mean, I think Kasich is a hell of a guy. And I also say this. Let me say this. Me being prior military, every male in my family history has served in wartime. So before the election in 2015, when Trump came out and said that about John McCain, that just damn near, that floored me. That really that just knocked me. I mean, that's when it wasn't that I hated him before that, but after that, yeah, you couldn't have got me to piss on him if he was on fire. But you look at Kasich was really good. Cruz, I don't know what the hell happened to Cruz. I really don't. It was dumb to say. It really was. But that's what happens when you're talking about somebody that has and I'm not going to say a lower IQ, right? You don't become the president because you have a low IQ. But what he does have is a low opinion of himself. And if you listen to what I'm saying, you'll understand and you might agree. But what happens is he either thinks that people are going to talk good about him or he thinks people are going to trash him. So if he thinks that somebody's going to trash him, then he goes right to the negative, right? And that's what was happening. I think it was at the Heritage Foundation or where was it? It wasn't CPAC, I don't believe. It might have been. It could have been when he said it, right? But as soon as it was brought up about John McCain, that's when he knew right then that maybe in people's minds, they were thinking about his deferments. Now, look, there's a lot of people out there that have deferments, right? A lot. And you can't judge them all the same, right? But if somebody has a deferment and then talks negative about another one that served, then you have to judge that moral, right? What does that person actually truly believe? That's the part that where I get off the bus right there, right? I right when he said that, I was like, no, there's no way. I mean, I was card carrying Republican. I mean, I'll show you. Card carrying Republican. I voted for Cruz in the primary in 2015, right? So, yeah, that was a tough one to get through. That was pretty hard. And then, like I said, he lets those little things affect him. If he was able to take that one part out of the way that he deals with people, right? If he was able not to get his feelings hurt and go right to the hard negative, then what do you do, right? All of a sudden, you jump up and you're like, shit, here we go. Because there's nothing he couldn't do then. I mean, Trump would have won this time. He might even been able to get Congress and the Senate to change it. That would have been pretty damn crazy right there. I think 4 years isn't enough time for a president. That's what I think. I think that 4 years, and especially when we have, you have an election, right? And then 2 years later, you have another election. 2 years later, you have another election. Now you're building a basis of where it's just, these people aren't governing. They're not legislating. They're not working. They're going out to get votes nonstop. Paul Ryan hurt himself. Look, when Paul Ryan said that after Trump said that about John McCain, if you remember what happened, where they caught Paul Ryan on the hot mic at the Republican dinner. When that happened, Paul Ryan had a choice, right? Now, he wasn't Speaker of the House then, right? He had a choice at that point. And he chose wrong. He chose to retract it and snuggle up to Trump. And if I don't care which side you're on, right? If you look at Lindsey Graham, right? he in 2015, the entire time he's talking about how bad Trump is, right? What did he say in that one interview? If you want to make America great again, tell Donald Trump to go to hell. I don't know if you remember that, but you know, and then you turn around all of a sudden and you're Donald Trump's golfing buddy. That shows that your character, your ability to read someone's character is not there and shouldn't be. And that's where I judge people, right? When I judge Brian, that's what I'm judging. That's what I'm judging. I'm judging, does he stay on what his actual beliefs before all this went on? Does he stay on that? I'm going to kill this damn thing. Don't kill it.
Got a crackle.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to kill the show anyway here shortly. Amsals, I hope you don't, you know, I think you see, I play it pretty truthfully. I don't try to get super personal. I'll say what I means what I say.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Holy shit. Holy shit. I enjoy listening to you. Well, I appreciate that. Got that Hunter Biden. Holy shit. Hunter Biden. He is such a decoy, right? These things they do these days is just ridiculous, right? Before, this would have never been accepted. I think it started back with it really got, I think Nixon ruined it for majority, right? When Nixon did the wedding at the White House with his daughter, I think at that point he allowed the family to come into to the mainstream, you know, argument, discussion. I think that happened pretty bad. But I think worse than that is that now it's a constant thing that we constantly go over and over and over. It's Hunter Biden, or it's Trump Jr., or it's Eric, or it's you know, it's nonstop, right? But it's just like little balls, those silver balls are throwing out. Don't look what's going on over here. Don't look at what we're not doing in our state capital, right? We're not doing the work of the people. But look at this. Let me throw you this little ball over here, so you don't pay attention that, oh, I'm taking kickbacks from another company that I'm promoting or I'm judging for, and they're all guilty of it, every single one of them. So I killed majority of that. Holy shit. I just wanted to do, I was going to do the Brian Craig shit over, but oh well. I'm not going to now. So.
But we'll have more coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the crackle, I got to do something about this damn, this shit is driving me crazy. You spend that much damn money and then, what do you think, Ham Sauce, about the new studio? Got my damn. I'm big into the iRacing. I don't know if you ever do that, but
It's the studio.
it's the studio. I'm gonna do a toolbox tour. I have a huge toolbox and all my toys.
You think it's huge when it's trying to tilt the building?
Yeah. Well, that's good, Ham Sauce. Thank you. I'm glad that we had something in common, man. See, that's the way you work through things, right? I used to do YouTube quite a bit, right? And I got in this one group, and this was a couple of years ago. This is when the QAnon started to happen. But I believe that I was in this really good group, and we were discussing true policy plans, right? And true things within our own areas and exchanging ideas. And the next thing you know, everybody's biting at each other, right? And not in a debate type of way. Instead of debating issues, now we're debating why somebody said, shit on their show, or somebody said they didn't like the way this looked on their show. We weren't debating what really mattered anymore. And to me, I lost it. I went nuts on them. I went nuts on them. I mean, nuts. And I wiped my YouTube, and I said, that's it. I won't do it again. And then when this happened with Trump and the election, and that's when, that it started hitting me again. And next thing you know, we're doing it again. So listen, I'm going to kill this. Baby, you got anything to say?
Nope, I'm good.
Yes, you are. Y'all be good. Thanks for all the support. Remember, email the show if you have any questions. You want to debate? Good with that.
Hit the bell.
And yeah, hit the bell.
Have a good night, ham sauce.
Ham sauce, I enjoyed it. I really did. Take care, brother.